Hi, Pastor Paul here with today's InspireU. Was Jesus woke? I've been talking about this idea of Jesus being woke because woke has become a word used by many Christians and people who are right-leaning in politics to beat others up. And so the question is, what does woke mean from a grammatical viewpoint, and what does it mean from a biblical one? So let's start with the term itself. And recently in a Florida court, a judge asked a governor for Ron DeSantis, the Republican governor of Florida, to give a definition of woke. And the definition was given as this: the belief that there are systemic issues of injustice in American society and the belief that we should do something about it. That was the definition of woke given by the team of a Republican governor. And I say by that definition, yes, I'm woke, and many of us should be. We should be open to listen to systemic issues of injustice in the history of America, because those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Now let's look at woke from a biblical perspective. Many of my Christian friends would say woke means believing in two genders, or transgender people being allowed to use the bathroom of their identified gender. And I say those are issues Jesus never once addressed in any way whatsoever when on the earth. But Jesus was woke. How do I know this? Because I define woke really as just meaning doing something that right-leaning Christians don't like. And when Jesus was on this earth, religious people didn't like him very much because he sat with the people they didn't think worthy of God's favor. If woke is the demonization of LGBTQ plus people, if woke is wanting to resolve the demonization of LGBTQ plus people, if woke means wanting to be accepting and affirming of people of other races and religions in our country, then the Bible's really on the side of woke, and certainly Jesus is. Jesus hung out with those religious people called sinners. The Samaritans were a group of people that the people of Jesus' religious sect believed that God gave them permission to hate because the Samaritans were of another race, of another religion, and the people around Jesus believed the Samaritans were hurting their ability to make their country great again. They felt like they were justified in their reviling of this marginalized people group. But Jesus went out of his way to sit with the Samaritan woman at the well. And then one day, a religious guy came to Jesus and he said, "What are the biggest commands for us?" And Jesus said, "What do you think they are?" And the religious person said, "Love God, love your neighbor as yourself." And Jesus said, "Good answer, you got it right." And so the religious guy was like, "Oh, that's a little bit too easy. Maybe I need a follow-up question." He said, "Okay, all right, Jesus, if you say that's right, then let me ask you this question. Who is my neighbor?" And Jesus told the story of the Good Samaritan, where he said, "You see those people over there that you don't like and feel justified to hate? I'm going to make them the hero of this story." He told the story of the Good Samaritan. If Jesus were telling that story today, it would be the story of the good Islamic fundamentalist, the story of the good abortion provider, the story of name the person you feel you're allowed to demonize because they don't deserve God's favor. Jesus would make them the hero of the story, and he would sit with them and not with the religious people across the room, and religious people would hate him for it. Why? Because Jesus was woke. And if Jesus was woke, let me ask you this: should people who claim to be his followers be woke too and say, hey, if there are systemic injustices in the country, I want to search that out. I want to learn. I want to grow. And I want to do everything in my power to stand with those marginalized by the power base and the establishment and the status quo. Jesus was woke, and those of us who claim to be his followers should be too. I hope this inspired you today because you inspire me. Check out my coaching services at pastor-paul.com. Reconstruction U is for those looking for a life abundant, as Jesus promised, for a life that's fulfilling, sustainable, and filled with purpose. Go to pastor-paul.com and check it out today. And thank you for hanging out with me on this InspireU.